Well, according to the interweb thingies, it's supposed to be sunrise. I guess the sun didn't get the memo today. But we're not gonna let that stop us. We got work to do. Come on, let's go. We gotta talk about mindset. So how are you doing this glorious morning? Not very bright outside, but I feel bright on the inside. Got up this morning early on time. Matter of fact, got up earlier than I'd like to because my mind is still set on daylight savings time prior to the fall time change. I have gotten used to waking up about 1 minute before my alarm is set. So I was waking up at 4:29 every morning all summer long, and now I'm waking up at 3:29 in the morning. So that's a bit of a pain, but you know, it's a good example of how our mindset will keep us in the same routine for a little while, how our rhythm can be affected. And you know, one of the worst things is when we get the wrong mindset. Then we wind up operating on things that aren't true. You know what set me off on this was a comment that one of my viewers made that asked about my training regimen and talked about my routines and things like that. And you know, I hadn't given myself enough credit, I think, for this, because I had a mindset that I'm an old guy now. I'm not an athlete, for goodness sake. How in the world could I ever say that? I remember there was a comedian I used to love to watch, and he would talk about how when he would go to the doctor would take a look at whatever problem he has, like, that's just the way that is at this age. This is just the way you're gonna have to deal with it now. And he would ask questions like, well, I mean, this really hurts. Is there something I can do to make this better? He says, nope, you just got kind of incurable bad whatever joint or something is wrong with you, is you got to live with that now. And well, you could take a bunch of pain medicine. And he says the doctor recommended, yeah, don't worry about what the dosage says, just take all the pain medicine you want. And then the comedian asked the doctor, well, doesn't that cause like intestinal problems? He's like, yeah, but you got to weigh that on how much you want to have your joints not hurting. And then he asked the doctor, well, what if I was an athlete? And the next thing out of the doctor's mouth was, you're not an athlete. You know, they can do all kind of modern miracles of medicine, but not for him, because he's an older guy that they're not trying to fix. So I kind of had that mindset. I'm the older guy that the doctors aren't trying to fix anymore, and I'm not an athlete, and there's pretty much not much hope between now and the time I die. It's a pretty negative mindset to go around with. And you know, even though it was funny, it was a humorous little limerick or anecdote, those kind of things stick with a person, especially if you get them in your head that they're true. Now, there was some truth to it, but it wasn't completely true. And that's where the problem is. Error often rides on the back of truth. You gotta look for separating the wheat and the chaff. The problem here was I was getting the information I needed, that I needed to do something about this. Obviously, I need to be taking better care of myself. But even though I've been doing that now for close to 2 years, I still hadn't switched the mindset. I still hadn't come to the conclusion that you are an athlete. Even as I say it now, it almost sounds like it brings a smile to my face, because it's kind of funny sounding to me. But as I got on the scale this morning, you know, I haven't been particularly worried about my weight lately at all. I haven't thought about my weight in some time. I mean, once I went down below 189, I was perfectly happy, because that was my high school wrestling weight. And I had to work to get down to that back then. So once I hit that, I knew I'm in as good a shape as I ever have been in my life. Now I get on the scale this morning, I'm 187 pounds without thinking about it. Back then, I had to put all my effort into making sure I stayed under 189. You know, we'd go in to weigh in before a match, standing there on the scale, standing on my toes, sucking in my gut, trying to form my body into some weird shape that might take an ounce off the scale. I don't have to do that today. I'm in the shape. I could go wrestle the 189 weight class right now, and I'm stronger than I was back then. So if I was an athlete then, and I'm in better shape now than I was then, why not? It still takes time to sink in. Sometimes you've got to remind yourself of who you are and what you're doing, because you can get stuck in your head thinking you're something you're not, good or bad for that matter. You know, overconfidence can be just as bad as being having a lack of confidence. I think I've suffered more from lack of confidence in my life. But you know, it's a mindset, because I know for one thing, as a believer, nothing can hurt me in this life, because the worst thing they can do is kill me, and then I'm out of here. I'm forever with the Lord. So how can I go around with anxiety about how life is going to come out? Especially if I've been promised that he has a vision in store for me of a good future. And all I have to do is get on the right page. No reason to be anxious. But then also we look around and see the world falling apart and all kind of crazy things going on. Plenty of things that would cause anxiety, but really they're just opportunities. They're opportunities to pray over it. They're opportunities to work at it, to make your life the best that it can be, so that you can face the difficulties of life. It's a reminder that we're not supposed to be sitting around waiting for things to happen. We're not what happened to us. We are what we chose to be. I'm what I choose to be. I choose to be healthy and happy. Hey Daisy, she chooses to be healthy and happy too. She's a beautiful shepherd. I love that dog. I used to have a dog just like that when I was a little kid. Well, I can tell you, in my past, I have been one of the kings of stinking thinking, letting my brain stop me from getting what I need to get done, letting those wagon tracks, those ruts you get stuck in. You know, when I went to Italy years ago, I got a chance to go to Vesuvius, and we went to what is not Herculaneum. We went to Pompeii, the original city that was covered by the volcano back in, I think it was 72 AD or something like that. But it was so neat to see these stone streets that they had, these huge stones that they used to make their streets, and they had little walls on each side of the street, so it was like an alleyway or a canal, but without water. And there were two ruts going down the middle of the stone path that were for the chariot wheels. And if you came from a city where your chariot was made differently than they had chariots there, you would get stuck in the ruts and break your wheels. Well, you know, when you change over to a new lifestyle, whether it's your spiritual life, or in my case here, my physical life, deciding that I'm going to take my health seriously, deciding that I'm going to start exercising, and making sure that I have a good working machine to get through life with. If I go back to the old way of thinking, my wheels are going to get stuck in those ruts because I got the wrong thinking, and I'm going to wind up breaking my wheels and derailing myself in every aspect, because you can't move forward when you break your wheels in the ruts. You don't want to keep going back to those old bad mindsets. So as you replace those mindsets with steady consistency, you'll find that you have strength you didn't know you had before. You'll find the strength that you wanted to have before. It's there. It's there inside you, and it's waiting for you to let it out. But you've got to decide you're going to do it. You know, for me, I knew it was something I needed to do, but it didn't come until I changed the diet. The diet change became because I was afraid was afraid I was dying, and I knew I had to take care of my family. Well, the diet changed that. And with that change came the energy to want to exercise. And now, even though some days I don't feel like it, I push through it because I'm used to it now. I've gotten in the habit. I get up and do the same thing every morning. You can have that. You can have that youthful body and that clear thinking head that you used to have, or that you always wanted to have, whatever the case may be. But it's time to say, screw it. I'm gonna get up and do it and go make it happen for yourself today. That's all I got for today. Change that mindset. I'll see you guys next time.
If we pay extra, could we maybe get some grease or fat?
Go make it happen today. Get that right mindset. Hey, I got one more piece of information for you. Katie and I are planning to go to KetoCon in Austin, April 21st through 23rd of 2023. I'm not sure if we'll be there all 3 days or if we'll even make it. We're trying. I will say that Carnivore Crisps has provided us with the entry to be there. And if I get 50 of my viewers to sign up to go to KetoCon this year, I'll have my own meet and greet table. I'm not really worried about that happening or not. That would really be cool though. Mostly because I know there's a few of you who would like to talk to me about some things. And I would love to be available for that. You know, this is all new for me, but if I had the opportunity to meet some of you guys and hear some of your stories firsthand, I think that would be really cool. So if you're interested, there's a link in the description to get your tickets for KetoCon. I'll be adding this to my videos between now and then because I think it would be a great idea if that's something you'd be able to do and it's not out of your way and it's something that you can afford to do. I know right now the 3-day pass is discounted pretty heavily from $300 to $100, and the Sunday pass is discounted from $150 to $100. I don't know which prices are going to change, but I know that prices are going up on December 1st. So if you really are interested in going, get them while the ticket prices are good. And I'll see you there.